Tensions escalate as the Iran war intensifies with drone interceptions, while devastating floods in Texas prompt urgent rescues. These are just a few of the critical stories shaping our world today. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. Amid ongoing tensions in the Middle East, the United States and Saudi Arabia are strengthening their diplomatic ties. Recent meetings have focused on military cooperation and energy security, reflecting a mutual interest in stabilizing the region. The U.S. aims to ensure the security of its allies while also addressing concerns over Iran's aggressive actions. This partnership is crucial as both nations navigate the complexities of geopolitical interests in the volatile landscape of the Middle East. As the situation evolves, the implications for regional security and economic stability remain significant. The commitment to strengthening these relations could help deter further aggression and promote stability in the region. Observers are keenly watching how this partnership will play out in the context of ongoing conflicts and international negotiations. Wildfires have erupted in Aragon, Spain, forcing hundreds of residents to evacuate their homes. The blazes have consumed over 11,000 acres of land, causing significant damage to both property and wildlife habitats. Firefighting efforts are currently underway, with local and national resources mobilized to combat the flames. The situation is exacerbated by extreme weather conditions, including high temperatures and strong winds, which have fueled the fires. In recent years, Spain has faced increasingly severe wildfire seasons, raising concerns about climate change and its impact on the environment. As firefighters work tirelessly to contain the spread, the community is coming together to support those affected. The government is also evaluating the long-term implications of these wildfires on local ecosystems. Moving forward, discussions about fire prevention and climate resilience will be crucial in addressing these growing threats. Negotiations between the United States and Iran are ongoing as both parties seek to address escalating tensions. The White House has expressed a willingness to engage in diplomatic talks, aiming to reach an agreement amid growing concerns over military actions in the Middle East. These discussions are critical as they could lead to a de-escalation of the current conflict dynamics. Historically, diplomacy has played a vital role in U.S.-Iran relations, though previous efforts have often faltered. The importance of these negotiations cannot be overstated, as they may influence not only regional stability but also global security. As both sides navigate their interests, the international community is watching closely, hoping for a breakthrough that could ease hostilities. The coming weeks will be pivotal in determining the future of U.S.-Iran relations and the broader geopolitical landscape. In legislative news, the U.S. House has passed a bill aimed at making daylight saving time permanent. This decision has sparked a nationwide debate about the implications of such a change. Proponents argue that eliminating the biannual clock change would benefit public health and safety, while opponents raise concerns about potential disruptions to daily routines. The bill reflects a growing trend in various states and regions advocating for more stable timekeeping. If passed into law, this change could have wide-ranging effects on businesses, education, and transportation. The public response has been mixed, with many expressing both support and skepticism about the long-term impacts of permanent daylight saving time. As the bill moves to the Senate, the discussion will likely intensify, with stakeholders weighing the benefits and drawbacks. The outcome will be closely watched, as it could reshape how Americans experience time throughout the year. Global oil prices have surged sharply following significant disruptions in Middle Eastern supply chains amid ongoing conflicts. The escalating tensions in the Iran war, compounded by the Ukraine-Russia conflict, have intensified fears of critical supply shortages. This precarious situation has led countries around the world to scramble for energy resources, causing markets to react with substantial price fluctuations. Economists warn that these rising costs could severely impact global economies, especially in regions heavily reliant on energy imports. The volatility in oil prices is likely to trigger inflationary pressures, directly affecting consumers and businesses alike. In response, Governments are now considering tapping into strategic reserves and exploring alternative energy sources to mitigate the surge's effects. Analysts predict that the situation may worsen before any improvement is seen, underscoring the urgent need for proactive measures to stabilize markets. As geopolitical tensions persist, discussions about energy independence and sustainability are expected to gain momentum in the coming years, reshaping the global energy landscape. In a significant development, 14 nations, along with the EU, have reaffirmed a 2016 ruling that invalidates China's expansive claims in the South China Sea. This collective stance challenges China's assertive territorial claims and is a critical moment for international maritime law. The ruling, made by an international tribunal, has been consistently disregarded by Beijing, leading to heightened tensions in the region. The reaffirmation by these nations emphasizes the importance of upholding international law and maintaining freedom of navigation in this vital waterway. Countries in the region are now faced with the challenge of balancing their diplomatic relations with China while asserting their sovereignty. This ruling may lead to increased naval presence from the United States and its allies as they seek to counter China's influence in the South China Sea. The situation remains delicate, and diplomatic efforts will be key to de-escalating potential conflicts in this strategically important area. In India, a prominent activist has been hospitalized after a prolonged hunger strike, advocating for urgent education reform. The activist's health deteriorated significantly during the 20-day protest, which has drawn national attention and solidarity from various student groups. This movement, known as the Cockroach Janta Party, demands accountability from the government regarding alleged examination irregularities that have plagued the education sector. Education reform has been a pressing issue in India, with numerous protests over the past year highlighting systemic flaws, including access disparities and corruption in examination processes. The activist's condition has sparked intense discussions about the government's responsibility to ensure a fair and transparent education system for all. As public rallies intensify, pressure mounts on education officials to take meaningful action and address these long-standing grievances. The outcry for reform reflects a broader sentiment among citizens who are increasingly frustrated with educational inequities. Moving forward, the government's response to these protests will be crucial in determining whether significant policy changes will emerge to benefit millions of students across the nation. In another corner of the globe, the Ukraine-Russia conflict is entering a new phase as both sides prepare for renewed military offensives. Reports indicate that heavy fighting has resumed along the front lines, with significant casualties on both sides, raising concerns about humanitarian impacts. The international community is closely monitoring the situation, particularly in light of increasing Western support for Ukraine. This assistance includes military aid, such as advanced weaponry and training, alongside robust diplomatic backing aimed at countering Russia's aggression. Historically, this conflict has seen fluctuating levels of intensity since 2014, but the current escalation raises alarms about the potential for a broader confrontation across Europe. Analysts suggest that the outcome of these battles could significantly influence the region's geopolitical landscape, affecting energy security and alliances. With both NATO and Russia reinforcing their positions, the stakes are higher than ever. As Ukraine gears up for what may be a decisive summer, the next few weeks will be critical in determining the trajectory of this conflict and its implications for European security, particularly regarding potential peace negotiations or further escalations. As heavy rains inundate parts of Texas, rescue operations are underway to airlift stranded victims from their homes. The floods have created hazardous conditions, prompting state and federal agencies to mobilize emergency response teams across the state. The situation has escalated rapidly, leading to widespread evacuations in affected areas, with many residents now trapped and requiring urgent assistance. Texas has experienced severe weather patterns in recent years, with this flooding being one of the most significant events of 2026. Emergency services are employing helicopters and boats to reach isolated communities where access has been severely limited. The damage to infrastructure, including roads and bridges, is expected to be substantial, raising concerns about the long-term recovery efforts. Additionally, local economies are likely to suffer as businesses remain closed and communities grapple with the aftermath. As the floodwaters begin to recede, assessments will be conducted to understand the full impact of this disaster on both residents and infrastructure. Moving forward, state officials are urging residents to remain vigilant as meteorologists predict more rain in the coming days, potentially exacerbating the already dire situation. The focus now shifts to immediate relief and long-term recovery strategies. The 2026 Iran war has seen a significant escalation as Bahraini, Saudi, and U.S. jets intercepted Iranian drones over Gulf territories. This military engagement is a direct response to Iranian drones reportedly targeting U.S. military bases in Bahrain, raising alarms over the safety of American personnel and assets. Historically, the Iran war has involved various retaliatory measures, including Iranian strikes against commercial vessels in the vital Strait of Hormuz, a crucial passage for global oil shipments. The increased military activity from all parties involved is alarming and reflects a deteriorating security environment. With the likelihood of Iran closing its airspace by the end of July, military analysts are closely watching for any changes in strategy, as this could severely impact regional air traffic and military operations. This latest development signals a potential shift in the conflict dynamics, as intercept operations indicate a more aggressive stance from U.S. and allied forces. The international community is now awaiting official statements from Iran regarding their military intentions, which could further escalate tensions. The situation remains fluid, and further escalations could lead to broader implications for regional security and international relations. As both sides brace for potential confrontations, the coming weeks will be critical in determining the trajectory of this conflict and its impact on global stability. Thank you for watching today's News Roundup. Which story resonated with you the most? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.